We are here talking today about alignment and whether or not people around you are people of integrity. Are they keeping their word? Are you someone who honors your word? Because that's the most important thing. Because in order to receive that what you want, you have to give it. So, the first person to check in with is what? This person right here. So, I invite you to just glance over your words and ask yourself, do you always keep your word? So if you say, oh yeah, I'm going to go to your party, do you always go? And of course I understand we all have moments where life happens and sometimes we can't always keep our word because of circumstances beyond our control. But are you somebody who says that you're always going to show up on time and you're always late? Is it a consistent thing? Because consistency in any action means that that's your habit. And that is your level of integrity. So in order to really start zimzumming and creating an environment where you're supported by other people of integrity, as long as you could check in with yourself first and foremost and say, heck yeah, I always keep my word. I'm a person who keeps my word because I really am. And that is one of my pet peeves. That's why I like talking about this. Because people who don't do what they say they're going to do, to me, they are not people of integrity because they are not impeccable with their words. And this is one of the four agreements. How many of you guys have heard about the four agreements? It is the most amazing book. So if you haven't read the book, The Four Agreements, I invite you to get the book. And it's really like some of the keys to life. So I'm just saying, when you are able to be impeccable with your words, you will attract more people who are able to be impeccable with their words. But if you have people around you who don't do what they say they're going to do, then this is an opportunity for you to call them higher. To call them higher, because if you know that you are the standard of integrity, then in my perception, it is your job to help other people to meet that standard, right? Because we all want people around us who are people of integrity, right? Who are trustworthy people, who are here doing amazing things, right? Because what good is it to have people around you who don't honor their word? It's like a sinking ship. Are you kidding me? If the people around you don't keep their word, then what they do in one place, they do in all the places. So when you are assessing friends, be sure you are asking them how they are showing up. And if you always keep your word, then that is the standard that you create for your inner circle. Because if they really appreciate you, oh, thank you so much. Well, see, I appreciate your honesty, Damon, because yeah, it's a process. None of us, I think, grow up being 100% honest or being able to, because I know I'm guilty of that. I am guilty. I would be like, oh yeah, I'm going. I would tell people what I thought that they wanted to hear just to be nice, but then I knew, like, really, I didn't want to go. I knew I didn't want to go. So guess what? I attract, because it's like an energy. So however you show up, the mirrors in your life will reflect the same thing. So the more accountable I became with my own self and my own words, then I began to shift. But then I also got other people who helped hold me accountable, because I love being a person of integrity, because it's really important to me. It is important to me to have something that, it's my word. And I honor my word. And I want people to do the same freaking thing. Because again, people in my life, they must be trustworthy people of integrity who are like-minded, who show up like me. So if there's people in your circle that are not these things, then I tell you what happens is, if you don't hold that level of accountability for your inner circle, it's like you're hurting your own self. You are actually damaging your own well-being, because it's like anything that hurts you mentally or emotionally, which is people who are not, are liars, right? Because people who lie are not safe. Then you are creating an environment that is not safe. So it's amazing how, really when you be the person that you want to receive, be that person who's in integrity, be that person who always does what they say they're going to do, then you can actually hold other people accountable to that standard. Because I love to grow, I love to evolve, but more importantly, it's up to me to keep my environment safe. So if I'm not assessing who I have around me, who in the heck is, right? Who's keeping me accountable for my own self? You guys, it's whether it's to ourselves or to others, it isn't just about honesty. It's about creating a foundation of self-respect and alignment. Because when you really respect yourself, you don't put up with nobody's crap. You don't let nobody talk to you no kind of crazy way, right? Because that's the standard that we set. And that because we respect ourselves that much, that we aren't going to let people walk all over us, talk any kind of way to us. Integrity, it is a beautiful thing. It's one of the four agreements. If you guys have ever read that book, oh, please read that book. So that's one of the four agreements. Be impeccable with your words. And it's so important because over time, this internal connection, this internal like zimzum, because again, we're always going to get the mirror of what we put out. It promotes true health. It works as part of us in harmony towards our highest good. Because when you surround yourself with like-minded people who are trustworthy people of integrity, then you create a harmonious forward motion, right? And then everything is easier because you ain't tripping, because when they say they're going to be there at 10 o'clock, they're actually, know that they're going to be there at 10 o'clock. I know my family, I was like, I'm born into the late family. Do you guys have the late family too? Oh my gosh, I was born into the late family. And so historically, you tell everybody in my family, like the picnic or whatever is like an hour earlier, or depending on who it is, maybe 2 hours earlier, because you know that they're going to be 2 hours late. They're going to be an hour late, right? How many of these people do you have in your life? And some of them, don't get me wrong, some of them are coworkers, right? That we can't actually have power over who we get to work with or who we're surrounded by in that particular area. But what I promise you is when you call people on integrity, there's never a wrong time. Because if you are correct in that they were not honest, or they did not keep their word, or they did not follow through, that's like a real thing that you can validate, right? It's a real freaking thing. So when you hold other people accountable, guess what happens? The environment changes. And so so even like with coworkers that you can't control how they get hired or who they hired, you surely get to control your environment. So if they bring any nonsense in or around you, we have a God-given right to protect our little space mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and definitely physically. And when people are detrimental to our well-being, then we get to have permission to make choices about that. So we can communicate it to the superiors. We can send information to HR. We can do this anonymously. We can do it anonymously, whatever. But in the end, when you stand up for yourself, when you know in your awareness who you want around you and what type of people that you want around you, and hold that standard, you are going to have amazing things happen. So I'm excited for you guys to not only make sure that your words are always in alignment with what you do, because it's really important. It's important for you and your own integrity, because I tell you, when I would do things and say, oh, I'm going to go and help, and then I didn't, it like messed me up. Then sometimes I would feel discouraged. Sometimes I would be really hard on myself, and then I'd be critical on myself, right? And all of these things because my own self didn't keep my own words. So this is why it's so important. First, check yourself and do your best to make sure that, my words are of integrity, that I do what I say I'm going to do. And if I say I'm going to do it, I really mean it and mean what you say. That's part of being integrity. So many people tell other people what they think that they want to hear. But in the reality, they knew they weren't going to go to the party. They weren't going to go to the show. They had no interest in going to the party, right? But instead, we still said, oh, yes, I'd love to go. Yeah. I finally gave myself permission not to ever have to answer that way ever again. So now I do things like, oh, thank you for the invitation. I'll get back with you on that. Right? And I never answer immediately ever again. I was like, oh, thank you. That sounds so amazing. Let me check my calendar and get back with you. Then I don't have to lie. Right? So again, when it comes to being in integrity, you have to display that which you seek. So make sure that your words are impeccable, and then you can hold other people around you accountable for that. So let me tell you, one of my pet peeves is when people say, oh, hey, Trey, let's go to the show next week. And then next week comes and they don't never do, like they, all of a sudden, I don't hear nothing no more. Oh, that bugs me because I don't like no fluff and stuffers. I don't like nobody blowing no smoke up nowhere, right? So I make sure that I keep my word because I don't like it when people do that. Oh my gosh, it is just so amazing that so many things are happening and time goes by fast, right? So when people mess with us and people are honest with us, how many of you guys let it slip? Do you let it slip? Do you let it slide? Or do you call attention to it? The best way to honor yourself is to hold people accountable for when they don't do what they say they're going to do. And more importantly, make sure that you're assessing for yourself if this is somebody you want to continue to have in your circle. Because I always believe in giving people an opportunity, right? And I know that nobody is perfect and everybody makes mistakes and life happens to everybody. But when it is consistently, when they are late every single time, when they say they're going to show up and they never do, if it's a repeated pattern, then you have one or two choices. You could either train them how to treat you, so that means hold them accountable and say, well, the people in my life, they don't want to, the people in my life are people of integrity and they keep their word. So if you can't keep your word, you know what I mean? So you hold them accountable or you got to release them. Anything that isn't serving your highest and greatest good is dragging you down. People who lie aren't going to benefit you because what they do in one place, they do in all the places. So if they lied to you about whether or not they're going to show up, they're lying to you about who knows what other 50 million things that may matter or not matter to you. But in the end, what people do in one place, they do in all the places. So if they're lying to you, they're lying to everybody. If they are showing up late for you, they're showing up late in life to everybody. It's a pattern. People are always showing you who they are. So and especially when they tell you, I know how many people have told me, oh, I'm really mean. And I would be like, oh, no, you're not. You're so sweet, or whatever it is that I would say. Right. And then I would be like, no, okay, things don't match. Things don't match. So make sure that your words and your thoughts and your actions are all in alignment. But more importantly, hold people around you accountable, because the more you give focus to your circle and your environment and who you have going on in there, then the more harmonious your life is really going to be, because you're going to be self-aware, right? You're going to have this mental clarity, which also helps bring that emotional resilience, because when you feel safe, when you know that these people really have your back, it feels way different than going, oh, I bet you she's going to be late. Oh, I bet you he's going to be late. Oh, I bet you he ain't even going to show up. Right? So again, we get to decide. We get to decide on who we have in our life. So you guys, be always be being the detective of your environment, because words are so powerful. Words are powerful. And when we align our words with what we really want, and then keep it to that standard, because no one can keep that standard except for you, then what happens is we create a ripple effect of healing. Really, that healing and balance comes in, and the well-being happens with in every area of our life. Because again, what you do in one place, you do in all the places. So being in integrity with what we say, whether to ourselves or to others, it isn't just honesty. It's about creating a foundation of self-respect and alignment. And this alignment, it strengthens our energy and it fosters emotional resilience, right? So over time, this amazing synergy promotes true health. And each part of us, it works in harmony towards our highest and greatest good, that mental body, the emotional body, so that the spiritual body can just pour in all of the amazingness, and then our physical body aligns with all of that amazingness. So you guys, I am so excited for you. Thank you for joining. If you guys wanting some help in aligning with any of this stuff, feel free to hit me up. I give a free clarity call. So if you guys are really ready to take that next step, or really decide how you can move about differently in your life, hit your girl up. claritycallwithtrey.com. Ready? Clarity Call with Trey, TRA.com. And I would love to give you a complimentary 15 minutes and help you get aligned with your best life. See where your energy is falling flat. See where you can adjust some boundaries so that you create a safe environment for yourself, where there are people of integrity, trustworthy people in environment who are people who keep their word. Because if you're ready to experience elevation, it requires a safe circle. It requires for you to be able to feel mentally supported, to feel emotionally encouraged, right? And to be spiritually expanded. So somebody is pouring into you going, I know you can do this. I believe in you. And you really freaking believe it, because how much do we believe people who lie? People who don't keep their word or aren't in integrity, and they over here telling me, oh, you're so smart or whatever. I'm like, it's hard to believe people who aren't in integrity. So protect yourself first and foremost. Assess your life. Always pay attention to how people are showing up. The words that they're saying. Are they people who are always saying, oh, you can do that, you can do that? Or are they the people saying, oh, girl, you can't do that. What are you trying to do that for? Why? Just saying, are they impeccable with their words? Because people who are impeccable with their words, they are positive, they are supportive, they are encouraging, they definitely are honest, but they are honest in a loving, kind way, so that it feels like they're actually doing their best to help you and not to hurt you. So again, everybody is putting out an energy, right? And that energy is either helping you expand into your best life, or that energy they're pouring into you is smothering you and it's holding you down or holding you back. And what I want for you is what I have for myself, and that is peace, love, support, encouragement. Because life is already beating us up already. Life is already knocking us around like a hockey puck. So it's important that you create a safe circle for yourself. And you're the only one who could do it. You're the only one who knows the type of people you want around you. I know I like people who love to laugh, who love to have fun, who love to create, who love to talk about what they're doing, not about the past. I don't like people who are stuck in the old. What kind of environment do you have? It is critical. So you guys, it's almost my time. I am so grateful for you being here. Please remember that holding people accountable for how they treat you benefits you and it benefits them, because one, it gives them an opportunity to show up for you. So then you could really know if this person really values you in this relationship, then they will be more than happy to show up for you in whatever way that is. And if they don't value you, then what better time than right now to figure that the heck out so that you can release it just like the leaves fall off the tree, so that the new people can come in who are more of a match to your amazing life. So blessings on your journey. You guys, thank you so much. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to the channel. I do my best to come out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I will look forward to seeing you again on, I don't know, whatever days. Wednesday. Blessings, peace, love, and ascension.